Hey, brothers and sisters, those of y'all been following my videos know that I have spoke about what's going to happen between when Michael Estate, his children, and the issues that his family and the tax they're going to get. People thought that I was exaggerating, or I was just, just trying to put a video out, say something that had no merit. But ever since Michael died, and we've been seeing glimpses of the children. It started out gradually, but once they went on the Oprah Winfrey show, the executives of the estate and Mrs. Jackson have allowed those kids to be pimped out. Now, Michael, before he died, always said he doesn't want his kids in the spotlight for various reasons. Part of it is because he understands how cruel the media can be and how people can try to manipulate and use somebody. Then also, he didn't want people asking questions about the identity of his children. Now, I highly doubt that Michael was going to be able to keep masks over their faces at this point in their lives. But I did tell y'all that those two kids, the oldest one, are white. Their mother's Debbie Rowe, dermatologist, is their father. If you look at the boy, they look just like him. They're like their father. The girl looked just like her mother. Now, let me say this. I don't know the ins and outs of the personal dealings of the Jackson family, but I can believe, just like most American families, they have they issues. And a lot of issues that they said they have been reported by the media. And any black person who's quick to believe whatever they see and hear in the media about another black person needs their head examined. But after watching this image of Janet and Randy with Michael Jackson's daughter, and as I said in the previous video, the family is going to catch hell for Michael kids because they don't have their blood. They don't have their blood. Now, I don't want to see them go to court and have to get into this whole debate if they Michael kids or not, because it would destroy not only the children mindset, but a lot of other children who are in adoptive or in that type of situation where the biological parents, the adoptive parents, or are not of the same ethnicity. But I told y'all, I said they're gonna go after this family because there's too much money sitting there. Because Michael Estate has made more money since he's been dead than when he was alive the last few years of his life. That's why I still say to this day, I say it's more than Dr. Conrad Murray. And Jermaine and them have stated that. But when you got a 14-year-old girl tweeting, see, that's Catherine's problem. Catherine did that. Catherine did the same thing she did with Michael and LaToya, babied them. This is why Joe was a disciplinarian, because he knew it would happen. Janet and Randy and Jermaine tried to get into their life. And I'm going to tell you, Janet is a millionaire. She's a multi-millionaire. Janet don't need no money. All of them are millionaires. They well-to-do. They can do things that you and I can't do. But the little girl is making tweets. And today she made a tweet about, ooh, somebody's going to pay. That's coming from a 14-year-old white girl. You can't tell me it's not genetic. And you can't tell me that the family's bending over backwards because their father died. That's their brother. Michael was their brother. And whatever issues Michael had, we cannot deny that he had self-hate. And before people start throwing that shit on the father, you better understand something. Michael was a grown man. Let's stop dancing around protecting him on every little thing. Now, I defend him on this about being falsely accused. I defend him about the cruel remarks. But Michael was color struck just like everybody in that family. And now they finna catch hell. This is why they had no problem with Catherine Jackson being made legal guardian. If anybody should have been made legal guardian, it should have been Reby Jackson or Jackie Jackson or even Tito. Hell, Randy. But no, they wanted Catherine because they knew they can get to her easy. And I told people, the only way to get to our families is to get to the women and children. And what is it doing? It's manifesting itself right now. But I'm telling y'all, Paris Jackson's going to be a little terror. Let me show y'all some video. And I want you to listen to the commentary from the reporters. And I want y'all to try to tell me otherwise.
There is a lot of tension. And the center of the tension is, where is Catherine Jackson? Jermaine Jackson and Reby and Janet will tell you that she is doing well in Arizona, resting and de-stressing, not wanting to use a phone or computer, not wanting to contact the 3 children of Michael.
Okay, that's a lie. We all know this is a lie. We all know the police went to the investigation and they found Miss Jackson's okay. Matter of fact, it was a picture show. And I tell you why this is a lie, because they just had Randy Jackson, Reverend Sharpton show, and it's all about money. What happened was the executors of his will said Michael Jackson signed the will on such a date in 2002. But guess what? They got video of Michael Jackson in New York with Reverend Sharpton. It's all about controlling Michael Jackson's fortune. I'm telling y'all, they say this is why the media was telling everybody, go to Debbie Rowe. Debbie Rowe, get back in them kids' life. I'm telling y'all, Paris Jackson is going to be the downfall. I hope I didn't say Paris Hilton. If I did, forgive me. But Paris Jackson is going to be the downfall of that family. And don't think Big Brother ain't somewhere in the woodworks watching. I'm telling you, them kids are going to be dangerous. And Mike brought this on not only his family, but himself. But I'm going to play the rest of this.
Michael Jackson, whom she's been raising since their father suddenly passed away 3 years ago. The kids will tell you, meaning Paris, Blanket, and Prince will tell you they're very concerned about their grandmother because guess what? She's not called them in 9 days. In fact, she wasn't supposed to be gone that long. She didn't go to where she was supposed to be going, and they want to talk to her. They're very distressed about this. So, and actually that was not a scuffle. It was sort of a confrontation between Paris and her aunt, Janet Jackson, as you can see on the security camera video that we obtained. Janet, witnesses tell me, is telling her, I want your phone because you've been tweeting too much. She doesn't give it to her. She runs into the security office, and that's Randy and that is Janet with their own cell phones videotaping her as she went along. Now, why were they doing that? What does that say about the situation?
Okay, now let me say this. While they was doing that, that was being smart. See, there's always a white person always trying to say why they doing it. Janet went to her and said, yo, you ain't gonna keep tweeting this shit. You're 14 years old. And then this guy's trying to make it like Randy and Janet. No, they smart because the little girl already made it as if somebody's doing something to the family because I'm going to tell you what's going on. The little girl's on the internet. Little girl got friends. Little girls are talking. Little girl probably hearing bits and pieces of conversations. Then they come to find out cousins of the Jacksons. See, this is why you have to be extremely careful with family members close to you and not so close to you. Let me play the rest of this.
It means that there's a lot of tension and distrust between all of them.
Yeah.
The future of the Jackson family, Michael's 3 children, who will inherit or have inherited this huge fortune.
Why is it distrust? Now, you taking distrust. That's what I'm talking about. It's distrust. No. What it is, little kids need to stay in little kids' place. This is the problem. See, this is what they want to do. They want to tell black folks how to raise their kids. But see, white folks know them kids ain't black. They know, listen, let's get them kids, get that money. Get that money, control that money. Let's control that nigga money. We gonna be milking Michael Jackson all our days. So that's why I tell y'all, as much as I like Michael, Mike was color struck. Now I ain't talking about the skin thing, the vitiligo, which he had, but Mike chopped his face up. Mike hung around a number of whites. And now his kids have picked up on that, and they realize it. They ain't done. They can look around and say, hey, why everybody else dark and we lighter? Why your hair like this? Why we don't have none of y'all characteristics? The kids ain't dumb. These kids go on the internet. This is why when Catherine wanted to make that move, why didn't she move sooner? Somebody from the executive will say, Miss Jackson might need to have something bigger. Miss Jackson might want to do this. See, y'all can't sit here and say I ain't been on point about this shit. I told y'all this was going to happen.
Are being alienated by their aunts and their uncles, at least some of them, and it doesn't look pretty for unity in the Jackson family.
Yeah, Harris tweeting here saying 9 days and counting, so help me God, I will make whoever did this pay. Clearly a lot of...
Swear to God, I will make whoever did this pay. This is a 14-year-old girl. When she said, I'm going to make whoever this person pay, I'm going to tell you something. How much you want to bet Janet and Randy be the target of this shit? How much you want to bet Paris going to say that Aunt Janet yelled at her? Watch. I'm telling y'all right now. I've been trying to warn y'all. This is why one of the reasons why I said when you have children outside of your community, or if you adopt kids, you better seriously think about this shit. You rather say about this shit. Because I'm telling you right now, there was a reason when Michael died, all them so-called friends and Debbie Roden crawled their ass out the woodwork and they want Joe around. I'm telling you, if Joe had any influence in this, I guarantee you this shit wouldn't have been happening. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Joe Jackson said the kids need to be in a private school somewhere. And now they mother that let's put them in a public school. And you saw what Paris Hilton, I keep saying Paris Hilton. You saw what Paris Jackson did. You saw what she did. She walked right past Janet like, fuck you, bitch. Let me go back and show you this again so y'all can see that I ain't making this shit up. Watch.
And
Janet's talking to her. Janet said, give it to me. Look at how she pulled away. Y'all saw Paris pulled away? Let me show y'all again. Now, back in our day, we pulled that shit. We be eating our teeth right about now.
Camera video that we obtained. Janet,
now look how she walked away.
Camera video that we
Randy was smart. Randy said, "Let him
Jackson,
do."
As you can see on the security camera video that we obtained, Janet and her aunt.
Watch this again.
Jackson, as you can
See how
see
she
on the
pulled
security
away.
Camera video.
14 years old. See, this is see, and the first thing the media went, well, it's division, it's problems. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I said that. I said. Michael opened up a can of worms. They want this man money. They already got Michael in the grave. That they don't want, I mean, come on, y'all can't sit there and say that Janet is hurting for money. So what's her motivation? Rest of the siblings, they got money. Just because Michael went on to mega success and Janet don't mean these people ain't got their money somewhere safe. Michael broke away from them. You can't blame, and people want to blame Joe Jackson. No, you can't blame Joe Jackson on this. Remember, Joe is not in the pictures of who they going to blame it on. And I'm going to tell you right here, looking at this image, these two going to catch hell, but she going to catch hell more. Because now, this little white girl figure, this nigga bitch telling me, yeah, she my aunt, but she ain't my aunt at the same time. I mean, I want to show y'all this again. I want y'all to keep looking at this.
And her aunt, Janet Jackson, as you can see on the security camera video that we obtained.
Now watch her walk away. Look how she walked past him.
Is telling her, I want your phone because you've been tweeting too much. She doesn't give it to her. She runs into the security office, and that's Randy and that is Janet with their own cell phones videotaping her as she went along. Now, why were they doing that?
And the reason why they's doing that, because it's covering their ass. Because the media has distorted. They ain't dumb. This family is not dumb. The media distorted every move they making. This devil right here is doing the same thing. See what they say? And look at the title. Tensions and Mistrust Shadow Jacksons. And who put this up? CNN. Same motherfucking network that helped take his ass down. Man, brothers and sisters, when y'all gonna start listening to those of us who've been pointing this shit out, some of y'all don't want to see it because y'all hate to believe that these people can be this damn sneaky. And whether you like it or not, much as I enjoyed his performance in music, Michael brought this shit on his family. And the family brought it on themselves because they've hung around with nothing but sycophants, hung with hangers on. And look, and I'm going to tell y'all something, the media, and I'm going to tell you, Janet, they're going to roast Janet more than anything. Remember what happened in Super Bowl. Justin ripped her blouse. Who called hell? Not Justin, Janet. Randy was just on Al Sharpton's show, and they were just talking about what happened. And they showed video of the date in question, about the day that Michael supposedly signed the will. But Michael was in New York with Reverend Sharpton and Dougie Fresh. This is why I keep telling black folk, we got to stick together, because when you got one outsider, and I mean no disrespect to that little girl, but just watching that video, it sit right with me. It reminds me of the shit that we see every day in these supermarkets and malls when kids get disrespectful to their parents and then walk past it like, okay, you ain't going to tell me shit. But it was Janet and them right there with them kids when Michael died. It's in her. That's their instinct. That's their instinct, and I kept telling y'all that shit. I warned y'all. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at my videos. You might see an old one floating around. I've done videos talking about this. I've done videos talking about the Jackson family. Everybody thought I was being paranoid. Man, I'm gonna need to sit there and write me a fucking book.